I mean, if the administration is interested in having a persuasive public health voice, I would suggest they find someone that half the country doesn't believe and thinks is engaged in egregious ethical misconduct. And I want to quickly go back to Fauci because he's been proven to be a dissembler. And Rand Paul has asked for a criminal investigation by the Justice Department of his testimony when he denied, although I think his language was careful, that would make a perjury charge difficult, doing gain of function research with the Wuhan Institute. And The Intercept, which is a left-wing news publication, obtained under the Freedom of Information Act. They had a lawsuit too. Judicial Watch has lawsuits on this topic as well, but they got the documents, and good for them. This is why we should have everyone suing under FOIA, because you never know what the government will give to one and withhold from the other, or give the one and then give to the one a year later. I mean, it's just crazy the way it works. And I'm glad they were able to get the documents, but they showed that the specific study that that Fauci's agency had funded through this EcoHealth Alliance, which I'm sure you all know about now, was a gain of function study on bad coronaviruses. I mean, the language, you'd have to be a sophist to engage in sophistry to suggest that it wasn't gain of function. And it's pretty clear it was. The Intercept, concluded it, and they're no friends of conservatives. And the question is, what did Fauci know and when? And to tie it to Judicial Watch's FOIAs, we received many emails showing initially in 2020 that Fauci and his colleagues were very much concerned about whether their funding was behind the Wuhan Institute and was their funding somehow tied to the emergence of the virus. And one of the studies they kept on listing, we saw it repeatedly and being sent to Fauci and other top officials that they should look at, is this bat coronavirus study, the same study by title. So we expected to believe that they didn't see the documents describing what the study was that the Intercept received and exposed? Of course not. So Fauci should be not only subject to a Justice Department investigation, but to an Inspector General investigation. And there's going to be a big push to have him fired. Many people call him to be fired or resign. But in the least, he should be pulled back and pulled away from being the lead for the administration. I'm sure Joe Biden doesn't care what I think, but I think it's the right thing to do. I mean, if the administration is interested in having a persuasive public health voice, I would suggest they find someone that half the country doesn't believe and thinks is engaged in egregious ethical misconduct. So the crisis continues. I mean, we've got the border crisis, we have the Afghanistan crisis, which I guess we're all supposed to forget about. And now we have this rule of law and constitutional crisis caused by the government response to COVID, which in my view has been, completely inappropriate. So Judicial Watch will be front and center in investigating the new Biden abuses, his abuses of power. And obviously we'll be tracking litigation, which will be tremendous. It's going to be all over the country. Texas probably going to sue. Georgia, I'm sure, will sue. DeSantis will sue. All these Republican governors will sue. Because remember, there are state mandates or state laws. I think Florida has a law that prohibits vaccine mandates. So this is going to be quite the legal battle. I think one that Biden's going to lose. But the fact that he was trying to exercise this abusive power is a dangerous development for our constitutional form of government.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all the latest news from Judicial Watch.